to put it out there in that many sentences. If you're going to be offended by everything I'm about to rip into on this movie, just turn the video off now. Just leave. Don't hit like. Don't hit subscribe. Just fucking go. All right? Take your $300 for the night and be gone with you.
He's Tony. I'm Mike. We're here to watch the world burn. I'd first like to say, fuck you, Charter, Spectrum, whatever you call yourself. For fucking up this episode. We tried coursing 1,000,000 times. Fuck you. Suck it. Fuck you, Disney, just because. Fuck you. And here we are. Pretty Woman, 1990 romantic comedy. Fuck you. Fuck this movie. I'm like, fuck you and fuck her too. So anyways, to be a little more serious here. Movie was directed by Gary Marshall. Screenplay by J.F. Lawton. Movie stars Richard Gere as Edward Lewis, our billionaire playboy, dismantler of companies, ruiner of people's lives. Julia Roberts as Vivian Ward, the very dumb prostitute with a heart of gold. Hector Alonso as Barty Thompson, the hotel manager, who is the only good character in this whole movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jason Alexander as Philip Stuckey, Edward's lawyer. Ralph Bellamy as James Morse, who is the owner of the shipyard that Edward is trying to purchase. Last we have Laura San Giacomo. I still fucked it up. As Kit DeLuca, Vivian's, super cool prostitute buddy who convinces her that, hey, you should become a prostitute because look at me in my I don't think it's a one-bedroom apartment. I think it's just a studio efficiency that's maybe 200 square feet. If that.
I was gonna say from what they show in the movie, there's like a kitchenette and it's like tiny, and then there's like 2 twin beds that are right next to each other, and then there's a fire escape. I don't remember seeing a television, so I they're living large. I'm just going to say that Kid's future involves a dumpster at a truck stop somewhere outside of Los Angeles. It's nowhere near as charming or romantic as what Vivian is going to wind up getting through the course of the film. And it's plainly obvious that that's where it's heading from there. So I don't know how to feel about this. I'm going to say I hate this movie. There's no surprise here. I hate this movie. And here's I can appreciate the craft of this movie because this movie is the greatest sales pitch for bullshit that has ever been put on film. And this kind of is the movie that revived the rom-com genre. It's the reason why we had all those fucking movies in the 90s. But if you look at who these people are and what they go through and like the whole power dynamic of their relationship, there's nothing likable about anything in this film except for the manager of the hotel. So there's a little bit of backstory on this movie. The script as it was originally written was called 3,000, which is the amount of money that Edward pays Vivian to stay with him for the week. And it was a dark, gritty exploration of exploitation of poor people by rich people. A whole very different thing. And originally Al Pacino was one of the people that was considered for the lead role in this. Jennifer Connelly was considered for one of the lead roles in this. That was a
nice cast.
It would have been, but it was intended to be a very different movie. And then enter Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was the former president of Disney. And ironically, this movie was distributed by Buena Vista, which is the arm of Disney that puts out their not family-friendly stuff. They're not G and PG rated stuff. So this movie is rated R, which is funny because this is the most sanitized movie about adult themes that I think I've ever watched, ever.
There's zero nudity. There's like next to no cussing.
Well, funny enough, Jeffrey Katzenberger saw the script for 3000 because apparently 3000 there it was in production. It was in early development, I guess is how I should say it. And Katzenberg was the man that demanded that it be a fairy tale and that it needs to be a romance story. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure. Corporate Raider meets Beverly Hills, or not even Beverly Hills, Boulevard prostitute. Well, of course, this is a love story. I mean, what else could it possibly be? I mean, the original intent of this film versus what was actually produced, it is a perversion of art on a level that you rarely get to see. And I guess the sad part is that this was a success. This was not just a small success. This was a huge success because...
Let me go through the numbers here real quick while we're on the subject. $14 million was the budget. The gross in the United States alone was $178 million. Worldwide, $463 million in 1990.
Yeah, that's big money.
Yeah.
Well, start us off. Tell us, how does the movie open up, Mike?
Well, if I remember correctly, it opens up with Richard Gere finding out that he's getting dumped over the phone by his current girl, and they're in the middle of like a party. There's like a party, I believe, at his place.
I don't think it's actually at his place. I don't know whose place it is, and I'll tell you why. Because if it was at his place, his limo would not be there. Or it may be there. It may be there, but at the same time...
Well, actually, that kind of makes more sense as this place because his limo is blocked in.
You know what?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're right.
Doesn't matter.
Fuck Richard Gere. Fuck Edward Lewis. And fuck his house. And fuck his car. Fuck you.
So, anyways, Richard Gere gets dumped over the phone. He wants to get the fuck out of the parties that he's at. He's blocked in. He borrows Stucky's Lotus. So... he's trying to find Beverly Hills, and being the privileged guy that he is, I'm sure he's never driven anywhere in his life. Well, actually, he says point blank that his first car was a limo, so he hasn't drove in his fucking life. He has no idea where he's going because he never had to pay attention. And so he's stopping all these places, trying to get directions. Well, he finally stumbles upon Vivian and asks her for directions. And she's like, well, I'll do it, but it's gonna cost you $20.
Oh no! It starts off at 10.
10, that's right.
Yes, and then he says, he makes some snide remark at her. I don't remember what it was. Like it matters, and then she bumps it to 20.
Yeah.
And he sucks at driving a stick shift. So yeah, that clutch and that Lotus, it's smoked. There's no two ways about it. And so he basically says for $20, you'll drive me to the Beverly Wilshire, whatever. Yeah, Beverly Wilshire Hotel. And so I don't know. I guess for Vivian, this is like the night of her fucking life. But at the end of the day, Vivian is a bad businesswoman. And I'm gonna go through this. So you're thinking she got paid $20. She didn't have to fuck Richard Gere. And then she got to drive a Lotus for all of probably, let's say an hour. Let's say that Vivian got to drive a Lotus for an hour. But when it's all said and done, she then either has to buy a cab or take a bus fare. And if Vivian's rate is $50 an hour, she lost $30 in the hour she was driving Richard Gere to the hotel. And then she lost another $30 because, well, actually, she lost another $50 because she has to ride the fucking bus back to between, the Hollywood Boulevard between Bob Hope and I don't remember the other celebrity, but she had her stars. That was her section of Hollywood Boulevard. So that's $100 that it has cost her to make this drive out with Richard Gere. So She's bad at math. That's the best I got for you on this one. Now, fortunately, Richard Gere asked her to come up to the hotel room because I don't know. Apparently, Richard Gere feels like after being driven around by a whore in a Lotus that he'd like to bust one off. I got nothing. And it's not that Julia Roberts doesn't look great. She does. She looks really trashy and really hot. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. And Edward is a multi-millionaire and a corporate raider. So really, gonorrhea is just, not that big of a deal.
No, it's not a big deal. No.
But thankfully, Julia Roberts has really tall boots and she has a lot of condoms in there. So he has his pick of the litter.
So anyways, so she stays the night.
We never get monetized.
No, we're not. So, anyways, he pays her the kingly ransom of $300 to stay the night. She sits on the floor, with her strawberries and champagne, watches I Love Lucy, right in the fridge, and they end up sleeping together. The next day,
she's a whore. Okay, if Richard, wait, I'm just gonna say,
we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Fuck her, he's an idiot.
We gotta move on. So, anyways, so she stays the night, and the next day, Stucky calls up. He's like, "Hey, you're meeting the what's their names? Morse. You're meeting the Morses for dinner. You really should show up with a date, for appearances and all shit, optics.
Make it look like a social occasion, not a business meeting."
Right. So Richard Gere's like, "Well, hey, how would you like to, go to dinner with me? Okay, here's some money. Go buy some clothes. I'll pick you up, and we'll go out."
Oh, wait. Before he gives her clothing allowance, he decides that he'd like to use her services for the entire week. So I don't think
they do that till after this.
No. She goes shopping before they go to dinner.
Right, but I don't think they negotiate her staying the whole week until after this.
Look, I'm just gonna say,
whatever. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Go to the negotiation because it's fucking Pretty Woman. Who fucking cares? They talk and they negotiate the $3,000 for the week.
And you know what? There's another dick fucking move. Because, she says $4,000, which that's nothing to Edward Lewis. Lewis, right? Yeah. That's nothing to him. I mean, he borrows his lawyer's fucking Lotus. He buys companies, and he's got 1,000 man hours wrapped up in the purchase of Morris Shipbuilding, whatever the fuck company that is. It's never actually named. But at the end of the fucking day, he could have just said, "Okay, done." Which would have actually shown that he was a good... No, you know what? She should have said 4,000. He should have said 5. That would have shown that he was a decent fucking human being. No. This piece of shit dickers. He says 1,800, and she says 3,000. Again, more proof that Vivian is fucking bad at math. She could have said 35. She could have said 3,800. She could have said any number she wanted, but no, she went down 1,000 for 7 days of her services. And they arrive at, he agrees to $3,000. And it's supposed to be funny and witty and charming. It's kind of gross. It's not kind of gross. It's fucking gross. This is a man that has more money than he knows what to do with. And he's cheating a whore out of $1,000 because he feels like dickering.
So anyways, they negotiate the price of $3,000, gives her money. And he gets sent up to Rodeo Drive. And so here you got this, prostitute walking into these, places, and obviously they refuse her service. She comes in there with kind of the attitude. Everybody both kind of comes in with the fucking attitude. She, oh, what? I don't deserve to be here. I can't shop here or anything like that. And I'm sure these people have seen people like Vivian come in and try to steal clothes and shit like that. So, sure, it does come off, like they're being snooty or snotty, but they're just trying not to get fucking ripped off.
Yeah,
more than likely.
Again, it's more proof that, you know what, Vivian, she's no angel. She's kind of a shitty person herself. And I'm sorry, but you know what? Walking around with a fucking handful of money, and they show her do this. Like there's a scene where she goes and she talks to Barney, who's the manager of the hotel, and Barney, again, the only real decent human being in this whole fucking movie. But she pulls out this like wad of bills. She couldn't even keep it like straight and flat. She didn't fold it and stick it in. No, it's this wad of fucking bills that she's like, and I guess here's the thing. It never occurs to Vivian that, hey, you're right. There's probably a whole lot of people that look like her that come in and shoplift this. No, she's indignant about the whole thing. She's so above it. And I'm thinking, you came from Georgia to Los Angeles. You did not want to go back home because of your own wounded pride. And you state this in the fucking movie. And then on top of all that, you became a whore because you couldn't make rent as a waitress in Los Angeles. This is who you are. I think you should really be honest with yourself. These women have every right to be all like, yeah, we don't have anything for you here. Sorry, hon, you need to go to DJ Maxx. Just somewhere. Macy's is that away.
So that being said, so she gets her feelings hurt. She goes back to the hotel and stuff, and the hotel manager stops her, Barney.
Barney, the only decent fucking human being in this fucking shit fest of a film.
So anyway, Barney knows that that she's a hooker, and
no, I'm sorry, whore. Whore is the word you're looking for.
Right. And so she's like, I think you're Mr. Lewis's relative, niece. He coaches her along to lie so he can help her out.
Yes.
And so then he has one of the ladies there at the hotel help her get a dress.
Yes.
So Barney's a good guy.
Why didn't Vivian go and throw money at the lady that actually fucking helped her when she was at rock fucking bottom? That's my question. So if you need more proof that Vivian's a piece of shit, Barney helps her out. Barney sends her to this wonderful clerk who finds her this absolutely stunning dress and this great ensemble. And she goes to dinner. And not only that, but then Barney actually shows her here's the manners, here's the forks that you use, here's how you should state this. Don't say I'm going to the shitter. Let them know you're going to the ladies' room and that you will be back in just a few moments. And then ask Edward, will you be ordered? Well, please go ahead and order for her. He basically gives her the crib notes on how to speak and act like a lady. And yet, rather than take all this money and all this goodwill that Edward then later spends, why doesn't Vivian go, hey, you know what? This girl really fucking helped me out when I was in a pinch, and she's the reason that I looked so good for the dinner that we went out to last night. Why don't we go see her? Because if she picked this outfit out, she's probably got 17 other ones that I'll look just as fucking hot in. But no! Vivian, the fucking human trollop, Hollywood Boulevard whore, she decides, rather than actually show her thanks and gratitude for the people that helped her out, she is going to go back to the bitches that were snotty to her the day before. And she walks in wearing her new outfit, and she's going to be all, oh, you all work on commission? Oh, yeah, yes, we work on commission. Big mistake. Fuck you, Vivian. Fuck you.
She gets the dress. Edward comes in. Oh, you look great and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. But you only bought one dress. You should have got more clothes. But anyway, so they go meet the Morses at the restaurant. All of Vivian's quick tutelage doesn't do anything because they're not using anything. They're not eating anything that requires a fork at all. And she's looking around none of this shit works. I got snails here, and I got this weird flipping tool that I got to use to get the snail out. And
they're not served as a salad dish. They're served some weird bread dish that I don't know, Mortimer, Randolph. I don't remember if it's Randolph or Mortimer.
James Morse, Mr. Morse, you can call him. Yeah, I guess like pate on a piece of bread or something like that, and he just picks it up and takes a bite. Kind of shows her, just do it like this, and she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then they get the escargot, and that requires some crazy contraption to work. And then they get some sorbet, which they take one. So there's a spoon for that. So she ends up not touching any of the silverware in front of her.
Well, yeah,
it's kind of funny. So there is a few redeeming things in this movie, but they're so far and few between, and not enough to make you bother watching this fucking movie.
No. You know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that at all. It is a absolutely clever scene, but the whole premise is what I take offense at. Edward hired a prostitute to be his date, to go to a dinner with the express intent, because he knows that the Morris family, they're blue collar people. They're not born to the purple. They were not like born into money. Their first car was not a fucking limo. Yeah. It was a fucking Chevy Bel Air, and it was probably a piece of shit that was like, way past its expiration date. They fucking earned their money. And that's kind of the point of all this, is that they're very blue collar, that he spent 40 years building this company into something, and they built battleships for the military and blah, 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 blah. And Vivian, who comes from a blue collar family in Georgia, she relates to them, and they have this like weird bond. And that's the whole like shitty thing about this, is that Edward is exploiting Vivian. He's not just fucking her when they're back at the penthouse. He's exploiting her to help seal this deal. And that doesn't make him admirable. That makes him fucking slimier. And then after he got done, they have this like weird fucking character scene where they go back after the dinner, and fucking she goes out on the balcony, and Edward, who is afraid of heights, is like sitting in a chair with the door open, and he's all like, "Oh, don't fall off the ledge." It's so fucking contrived and stupid. And there was one revelation during this whole conversation. And the revelation is they start talking about the business, and Vivian says, "You like him, don't you? That's why the whole dinner was about, was that you actually like him, you admire him." And Edward responds back, "Well, it's not a matter of whether I like him or not. I have to keep my emotions out of it." And then Vivian's all like, "Yeah, when I'm sucking dick or getting fucked in the ass, I just do it. I'm like a robot."
But not with you.
With you.
So since Vivian couldn't buy any clothes yesterday, Edward decides he's going to take her shopping because, they're going to be staying for a week. You need some clothes. So he takes her shopping, and it's supposed to be, this, happy montage. Oh, look at her dresses and all stuff. And Edward's like, "Oh, that looks good. No, that doesn't look good. Blah, 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 blah." But here's the thing. So they go to this one particular place, and the store manager comes up, and Edward's like, "You need to kiss ass. You need to kiss ass very, very well." And so the store manager starts kissing his ass, like, no, not my ass, her ass. Yes.
This is the scene that shows you who Edward really is.
Yes.
Here's a guy. He's professional. He's courteous. He's polite. He treats Vivian with respect. He treats Edward with respect. And that's not good enough. Edward wants him on his knees, groveling. And that's what this is really all about. This is about a rich asshole making a guy who's very professional at his job feel like human garbage for Edward's edification, and not just Edward's edification. He wants Vivian to know what it's like to lord power over people. Edward is teaching Vivian how to be just absolutely shitty to people that are not as fortunate as she is. And that's again, and the bigger problem is that Vivian is sucking it up. She's fucking all into it. And not only is it enough that they humiliate the guy that's at the boutique, but then they got to go to the boutique that she was insulted at yesterday. When she was dressed like a whore, and she's got to fuck with them because now she's got her first real nice dress. So she's, yeah. These are the heroes of this movie. These are. Why am I supposed to root for them?
I don't know. So after that, Edward takes Vivian to the polo match, and while they're at the polo match, Stucky sees Vivian for the first time, and he's like, Edward, you've been acting weird recently. Is it because of this girl? Is she a corporate spy? Who is this girl? And he starts freaking out. He's legit concerned about all this shit. And Edward's like, hey, just don't worry. She's not a corporate raider or any of this stuff. She's a fucking hooker. Oh, well, that just makes it fine then. And Stucky's like, well, shit, if she's a fucking hooker, we'll see if I can line me up a piece. And goes over to Julia Roberts, and propositions her.
He doesn't proposition her. Again, this scene is more proof that Vivian is fucking bad at math and she is bad at business because this potentially was Vivian's gateway, because prior to this, Vivian was walking Hollywood fucking Boulevard with her drug addict roommate. This was Vivian's fucking pass into the big leagues. She literally could have lined up an exclusive clientele and quit being a fucking whore and start being a call girl, and legitimately, because yes, she was with Edward by sheer luck, by sheer chance. She just happened to be the whore with directions that could drive a stick shift. and yet here's Mr. Stucky before Seinfeld. He didn't have that Seinfeld money yet. But here's Mr. Stucky, and he's all like, hey, after Edward's gone, maybe you and I can hook something up. And rather than being all like,
sure, give me your number.
Beats the shit out of $50 and fucking, wearing my shoes out walking Hollywood Boulevard, she's indignant about this. This is 3 days after she blew a dude in a minivan by a dumpster behind a fucking Quickie Mart. And she's indignant that Mr. Stucky, who's the actual loner of the fucking Lotus, that she's like, oh, it's like driving, it's on rails. She's shitting on him? Seriously. What the fuck? So that all being said, she's indignant about the whole thing. It's so beneath her because she went shopping and got to shit on some shop girls. and yeah, Edward has his big confession that she's a hooker, and that makes it okay. And I don't know. Apparently, Vivian has this big thing where well, I might be a hooker, but this is the first time anybody made me feel cheap. You watch someone get killed and their body be thrown in a fucking dumpster. You watched your roommate spend the toilet money on drugs, and then fucking feed herself by stealing all the garnish shit off of the bar that you frequent, and this made you feel cheap? What the fuck? They go back to the hotel after the polo match, and Vivian is up in the room and she wakes up, and I don't know, apparently she didn't buy any pajamas because she's not wearing a bra or lingerie or anything like that, and Edward is down in the bar of the hotel, and he's playing the piano, and he's playing it for the staff because Edward is such a nice guy. Just seriously, fuck this guy. These people work a job where they have to clean up after rich assholes all day, and this motherfucker makes them stop getting their shit done so that they can listen to his fucking one-man concerto. And so they're not getting their shit done, but he's one of their honored guests and blah blah blah. They gotta sit and politely clap. I'm pretty sure that the guy who cleans the fucking toilets out at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel could give two fucks or not this guy can play Moonlight Sonata. I'm just saying. Then Julia Roberts comes in. Oh, I didn't know you played the piano. She's known him for 3, 4 fucking days? Why would she know that he played the piano? There's not a fucking piano in the penthouse. Yeah. Just saying. But then Edward excuses the staff because he's a rich asshole, and that's what rich assholes. Oh, can we have the room, please? Fuck you, Edward. Fuck you. And then Julia Roberts, who's sitting on top of the piano, he's got to go in for it. Why? Because Edward is the kind of asshole that even though Vivian has like laid it out, like, you know what? I'll do this. I'll do that. You can stick it in my butt. I'll give you a rim job. I will fucking crank you off using fucking motor oil for lube. Whatever you want, but I don't kiss. But no, that's not good enough for Edward because Edward gets what Edward wants. He's a fuck you kind of guy, and he's gonna try and get and Julia Roberts, she just leans back and I don't know, presents her boobs and vagina to him, and I don't know, that's distracting enough that he, you know. Anyway, and the whole scene is just fucking gross.
That's the part there that cracks me up. So like, she's all, you know, upset because Stucky propositioned her, but yet, you know, here she is, literally now at his beck and call, and I'm just gonna fuck you right here. You are my property. I'm gonna do with you as I wish. Here we go. So I think the next morning she convinces him to take the day off of work. I think that's what happens.
It's always good to take financial advice from your prostitute. I'm just throwing that out there for you.
And this is the only part of the movie that's actually romantic. And you know,
is it though?
Well, it is because, you know, they're doing the whole, you know, let's go do lunch and, you know, breakfast, and we'll go to the park and you could read to me, you know, under the tree and all this fucking bullshit. It's the only time where it appears like they're actually a legit couple and not and it's not paid for.
Let's break it down. And honestly, in the week that Edward spends fucking Vivian, this is the cheapest day that he's had. This is Groupon day because they go to a shitty restaurant. And it's like a fucking hole in the wall on the side of it. And then they go to the park. And it's, I don't know. I guess this is supposed to be like visual storytelling where like Vivian teaches Edward that like the things that are really matter don't cost money.
Even Don Rorter came to appreciate the little things.
You know, it's the little things in life that make it worthwhile.
And you have to fucking drink a fucking cup of piss either for it.
Well, they do this, but then they immediately shit all over this idea. Like, I don't know, I guess Vivian's supposed to be showing him that, like, the best things in life you can't spend money on. And so like, Edward, like, gets her, I don't know, a couple $1,000 fucking gown, and then a $250,000 necklace on loan from the fucking jewelry company, and then a private jet, and they fly up to fucking San Diego, and they go to the balcony seats at the fucking opera. This is the pinnacle of fuck you, I've got privilege being rubbed in her face. Here's the funny thing. At the beginning of the whole scene, like, Richard Gere is like, well, when you see opera for the first time, you're going to find out if you really love it. And if you love it, it'll be a part of you for the rest of your life. But if you don't love it, you'll learn to appreciate it. Which is to say, this is where you take a art form and that it's not for everybody. That's fine. I get that. But you have to show that you appreciate it by throwing money at it. Oh, I don't know, like you're fucking whore? Is that what we're talking about? You've made opera your fucking whore? Really? That's the lesson we're talking about. Because Julia Roberts is amazing. She's touched by this. She has tears well up in her eyes when the whole last scene is going. And she expressed, I don't understand Italian, but she's so touched by it. Like, it transcends language. But at the same time, Edward is so like enthralled with like the fact that she's moved to tears. I don't know if it's supposed to show that Edward appreciates opera, but she like feels it. Look, Wu-Tang, motherfuckers.
Anyway, so
opera.
It's a scene that's acted very well. Julia Roberts sells the fuck out of it.
Yes.
All day long. And Richard Gere sells his whatever feelings he's got going for her. You get the illusion that he's starting to kind of maybe fall for it, maybe, but not really. Not really. He's not ready to commit just yet, because the next morning is when that's it. Then next morning they're going to cut ties and all this shit. And so Edward offers up this super super generous offer of, you know what, I'm going to put you up in your own fucking place. You'll have an allowance. You have everything you fucking need. I mean, you want to work again for the rest of your life. All you have to do is just, whenever I call you, come have dinner with me, do this with me. I'll be your sugar daddy. It really is a long short of it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be your fucking sugar daddy. And it doesn't really seem like a fucking, you're going to have your own fucking place, your own fucking thing. You just have to call whenever I call you. That's it. No, that's not fucking good enough for Julia Roberts, because she's a poor fucking negotiator. Poor negotiator. No, she wants to risk it all. She rolls the dice. She wants the fucking fantasy. And Richard Gere's like, Edward's like, no.
I'm sorry. This scene right here, this scene right here, if you watch this and you buy into this bullshit, this is everything wrong with this fucking thing. And here, he wasn't putting limitations on it. He just said, look, here's what I'm willing to go for now. I'm willing to take care of you, and I'm willing to take care of you the way that I've taken care of you for the last fucking week. Now, I'm sorry, but if you're shopping on Rodeo Drive and fucking with shopkeepers and that's not good enough for you, the problem isn't Edward. It's you. It's you. All right? Close your fucking Instagram account, and you know what? Just fuck off with that shit. You deserve anything and everything that happens to you at that point. And that's not me being shitty. That's me just saying, look, he gave you a straight up, honest look. Because it was a legitimate offer, and she'd have been taken care of forever. And for poor white trash that fucking came from Georgia to Los Angeles that became a hooker because she couldn't make enough money fucking waitressing to pay the fucking rent and is now sucking dick between Bob Hope and Jillian Gish, fuck you. Just fuck this movie. Fuck everything about this movie. It is such a colossal plot. Anyway.
So
what happens next, Mike?
So after that, she takes some. Does she take the money?
She does take the money. There's a scene earlier where she leaves the money but she does take money. She gets paid because they conclude business.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
She gets the $3,000. She gets the $3,000. She takes her clothes with her, and she leaves. And she promptly, hawks her clothes, for more money.
If Richard Gere really loved her, he would have given her the receipt so she could return that shit for retail, not fucking have to sell it to a secondhand shop.
Either way, so she's back in her apartment, and she's going to do the smart thing.
Hopefully,
she's going to clean up, leave the life. She's going to go. I forgot where the fuck she's going to head.
She's going to go and finish. She's going to go to San Diego. She's going to finish high school.
Yeah.
And she invites her fucking drug addict whore friend to come with her, because we all know how real estate prices are cheaper in San Diego.
So anyways, she offers Kate an opportunity. Hey, come along with me. Oh no. I'm gonna stay here and suck some dick, and and I'm gonna take that money you gave me. Thank you, Vivian, for this money. But I'm probably gonna fucking go party tonight and be fucking broke again tomorrow fucking morning because kids are smart.
If Vivian was a real friend, if Vivian was intelligent, smart, Vivian would have gone to the fucking landlord and said, look, here's fucking the next 6 months of rent. Leave Kat alone. Don't fuck with her, all right? She's paid for. You know what? Just add on. That would have been the smart thing to do. Well, you know what you don't fucking do? You don't give somebody who blew last month's rent money that you hid in the fucking toilet on a potty. You don't fucking hand her $3,000 and be all like, oh, I guess that's all taken care of. I've done my part. You're a fucking idiot. You never give somebody who's that. She's going to be.
Don't give your drug addict, alcoholic, fucking dependent, fucking friend cash. Period.
And more importantly than that, like if she had paid the rent for Kat, it would have prevented Kat from having to become Carlos's fucking piece of property, because that's where that whole subplot was fucking going. Kat was basically, hey baby, let's party, blah blah.
And she mentions it again when Julia Roberts comes back, like mentioned about getting a pimp. So while Kit and Julia Roberts and Vivian are talking, they hear music playing outside, and they hear a horn honking, and Vivian leans outside and hears fucking the knight in shining armor with his fucking umbrella, in his limo coming down. Let me finish. Don't interrupt. Let me finish this shit. He's got his umbrella, and he hops out. He climbs up one flight of steps because Edward's afraid of fucking heights. Can't even get that part right. And
I thought he went up 2. He went up.
Well, either way, he didn't go the whole way. She met him halfway. So, and then, she gets the fairy tale ending, all this shit. They live happily ever after.
No, they don't.
Hang on. For maybe the next 6 months at tops, because she's a whore. Stucky knows she's a whore. That means everybody else is gonna know that she's a fucking whore. That relationship is not gonna fucking last. I mean, let's get to the heart of the fucking matter. Dude. That relationship would have been over 6 months tops. I mean, and that's Edward turn over a brand new fucking leaf. Becoming actually good. I'm gonna be generous, and I'm gonna give him a fucking year, because Edward has money and he can insulate himself and he can not work for at least that period of time, because the Morrises really like Vivian. She's a delight. She's wonderful to have dinner with, and it's hilarious when fucking escargot goes flying across the fucking room. But at the end of the fucking day, when the Morrises find out that Vivian is a fucking street walking whore, I'm pretty sure that their opinion of her might change a little bit. And I'm not trying to be judgy. I'm really, really not. But at the end of the day, these are not good people. And I like, if you look and see who they are and what they do and like the behaviors that they're modeling, this is supposed to be romantic. It's fucking grotesque. It's like literally, it is just, it's insulting. So fuck you, Katzenberger. I'm sorry, Mr. Former Disney president. This movie is gross. And the only thing that I can say that's good about it, number one, it's a phenomenal piece of propaganda. And everything about it, if you watch it analytically from somebody who studies film, from the music selection to like what parts of the song they play, to how they choose to portray these characters, to how it's shot, to how it's assembled, everything about this fucking movie is propaganda. There's no romance here. There's none. If you want a realistic idea of how this fucking relationship is going to end and how fucking ugly it's going to be, I want you to go back. I want you to find Butterfield 8. I want you to watch Elizabeth Taylor in that film. And this is the movie that she won an Academy Award for. And that movie has a whole fucking story of its own behind it. And it's amazing. But this is the movie that ended Eddie Fisher and fucking Debbie Reynolds' relationship. Who, by the way, Princess Leia's mom, all right? That's mom and dad. This is the movie that like was made as a result of Eddie Fisher's infidelity to Debbie Reynolds. If you need to know, that's the historical significance of Butterfield 8. That being the case, it's a movie about a woman who is a model who gets involved with a rich man in a very ugly fucking marriage that he wants to be out of, and they fall in love and they have this huge romance. But here's where it goes a step further. It actually shows how and why that relationship completely implodes. And so if you need a sequel to Pretty Woman, Butterfield 8, 1960, Elizabeth Taylor, watch it. You will comment below if you think that that's not the perfect sequel to this fucking piece of shit, because it is. And that being said, so that's your recommendation.
It's not a recommendation. It's
Butterfield 8 is a recommendation.
I have so many recommendations that are so much better than this, that are more realistic. If this is your idea of romance, the problem is not this. This movie is like it's such a colossal pile of shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing.
This movie.
Here's the thing with this movie. It is so well directed, and the actors are so fucking good.
Yes.
They put the sweetest fucking candy around this biggest piece of fucking shit ever, and you gobble that motherfucker down. And if you don't bite into it to really kind of examine what the fuck's in there, you're not gonna realize it's shit. If you just see it and just fucking swallow it, it's just so well done. Because I don't think they really changed the script all that much. All the dark, seedy shit is there. You just gotta look past the fucking spit and polish that's there to see it. It is there. It's just directed in such a way that
it's minimized.
Yes, exactly. Things are played cheery and happy and all this stuff, and they're not. None of those scenes are cheery and happy or any of that fucking shit. Where it's directed to be played for laughs. If a director directed these actors to act and emote in a different way, I don't think they changed much of the script at all, except for the happy ending.
I'm going to say, I think you're right. I think they may not have changed a whole lot of the script, but I am going to say, yeah, it's absolutely Gary Marshall, who is Penny Marshall's husband. And if you don't know who Penny Marshall is, big, A League of Their Own. Penny Marshall is the real fucking deal. And Gary Marshall was Laverne and Shirley. He made her. So, these are like, they're fucking A-list. Top of the, if you don't know who they are, that's on you. That means you're really not the film buff you might think you are. But Gary Marshall, Penny Marshall, they're the real fucking deal. These are the people that are responsible for so many fucking hits, like for decades.
What movies would you recommend in this place? We covered Butterfield 8. What else you got?
Are you asking me about rom-coms or love stories?
Rom-coms.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Watch On Golden Pond. There's two old people, and he's an asshole, and she's got baggage too, but they had a daughter, and it's a relationship. She gets him. She knows he's an asshole, but she accepts him for who he is, and she still loves him. That's a romantic comedy, because it's fucking hilarious, but at the same time, it's like that. Watch. Oh, God, help me out.
You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Grumpy Old Men.
Oh yeah,
Grumpy Old Men's a fun romantic comedy, man. You got three classic actors, fucking Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, and what's that? And Anne Margaret. Anne Margaret was still sexy in her fucking 60s or however old she was when she made that movie, late 50s, early 60s.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. Anne Margaret's in her 70s now, and
another one I'm going to recommend is not another teen movie, because it's kind of the antithesis of the romantic comedy, especially where you got Molly Ringwald, who was like the queen of teen rom-coms in the 80s. She's at the end of this movie, and she breaks down what's going to happen with Janie and Jake, your two love-struck people, at the end of the movie. And so I highly recommended that. And then for like an actual rom-com, I'm going to go with 16 Candles, which also has Molly Ringwald in it. Not for the
rapey.
Not for the love portion of it, because Jake's not exactly a likable guy, and poor Molly Ringwald is just a love-struck, puppy in the movie. But Anthony Michael Hall is where it's at in that movie.
He's a little rapey. He's a little rapey in that movie.
Well, he's like 14 or 15. What 14, 15-year-old isn't a little rapey? You're just horny as fuck all the damn time. And very persistent.
So, well, I'll give me Ava. Look, again, I hate this movie. You know what? Let's talk Julia Roberts. If we're gonna talk, watch Aaron Brockovich, watch Steel Magnolias, watch just there's so many good movies that Julia Roberts has been in, and I admire her as an actress. We're going to talk Richard Gere, watch An Officer and a Gentleman, watch American Gigolo, watch Primal Fear, for fuck's sake. If you haven't watched that, that's on you, not on Richard Gere. Watch Shall We Dance? Again, great film. And that's a real romantic comedy. They're not shitty fucking people that you're taught you should root for. They're like legitimately like endearing people. As far as you know, if you want to watch like some fucking seriously dark shit, if you want to see the reality of prostitution, watch fucking Horror. Watch Requiem for a Dream.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Dream is brutal.
Yeah, if you want to see what's in line for Cat, it's not fucking being cheeky and funny and eating fucking cherries off the bar. Watch Requiem for a Dream, and I think that'll dispel your fucking romantic, ha-ha funny notions of what a great time it is to be a prostitute off of Hollywood Boulevard. It's time to move on. Mike, what are we watching next?
Next, we are watching a classic noir film, which I hope is going to be a classic because we both haven't seen it yet. It came as a recommendation on my Netflix DVD subscription that I forgot I had. And it is Leave Her to Heaven. I'm excited to see this. I hope it's good. I mean, it's got Gene Tierney and Cornell Wilde from Forever Amber.
Yes.
And Vincent Price. So I mean, with a cast like that, I mean, should be good.
I already dropped the $20 on the Blu-ray, so they already got me. However this turns out, I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch anything with Gene Tierney. So we're gonna go. By the way, it just in the event, because we're us and shit happens. In the event that shit goes long, we have a Christmas special lined up for you all, and it is something that we thought long and hard about, and we're not going to give anything away, but just know this. It is the epitome of a passion project, and I don't know if it's Mike's, but it's definitely mine. So I don't know whether I should just like wholeheartedly endorse this or just apologize for what's going to happen. But I just need you to know that if you need to blame somebody, blame me. Blame me. It's all on me. I sold Mike on this so hard you would have swear that I had a Lotus and I picked him up on Hollywood Boulevard. So
the pitch is so good, it's like it was riding on rails. So the only thing I'll give away is the title of the Christmas special, which is The Three Kings. And there you have it. There you are. We'll see you guys the next time. You know
what's a legitimate fucking movie that actually shows what love's really like? Forrest Gump. She's hot, but she's got AIDS. There you go.
Oh, shit.